That's correct. As crucial as losing weight and blowtorching fat are, there are several other benefits that IF brings. Here are a few of them. Measured by C-reactive protein levels. Inflammation has been linked to several severe and adverse health conditions, such as cancer and autoimmune diseases. IF has been shown to lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease in animal studies. There is, of course, no magic bullet that will prevent these crippling afflictions, but intermittent fasting can cause changes at the cellular level that may boost your immune system. Here are some grim statistics. Nationwide, diabetes rates have nearly doubled in the past 20 years, from 5.5% in 1994 to 9.3% in 2012. More than 29 million American adults have diabetes, and another 86 million have pre-diabetes. The CDC projects that 1 in 3 adults could have diabetes by 2050. More than 1/4 of seniors, ages 65 and older, have diabetes, 25.9%, or 11 million seniors. Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States, accounting for around $245 billion in medical costs and lost productivity each year. Ugly, ugly, ugly numbers. And worse, these ominous numbers are not showing any signs of slowing down. Faced with this gruesome reality, help from any direction is desperately needed. And intermittent fasting holds out the promise of halting the rapid and seemingly inexorable swath of destruction caused by diabetes. Numerous animal studies have demonstrated the benefits of intermittent fasting. There are no definitive explanations given as to why IF boosts health, but there are a few valid ideas. First, fasting allows our cells to perform routine maintenance and remove older senescent cells. These are cells that have stopped dividing and have become so-called zombie cells that take up space, block the functioning of healthy cells, and speed up the aging process. Fasting allows our bodies to take out the trash by removing these senescent cells. Second, fasting also forces cells to look for other sources of energy besides glucose or sugar, since there is no food coming in. One of these alternative energy sources is called ketones, which are molecules produced in the liver from recycled fat. This process seems to be helpful in lowering blood sugar levels. Researchers led by Walter Longo, director of the Longevity Institute at the USC Leonard Davis School of Gerontology, began by testing whether periodic fasting could cure diabetes in mice. They used mutant mice that lack the fat hormone leptin to regulate their food intake. These mice continuously overeat and become obese and diabetic in early adulthood. The researchers found that after just a few months of periodic fasting, alternating 7 unrestricted eating days with 4 restricted days, the diabetes was cured. This is an astonishing result. Quote, "Cycles of a fasting mimicking diet and a normal diet essentially reprogrammed non-insulin producing cells into insulin producing cells," end quote, said Longo. Quote, "By activating the regeneration of pancreatic cells, we were able to rescue mice from late-stage type 1 and type 2 diabetes. We also reactivated insulin production in human pancreatic cells from type 1 diabetes patients," end quote. But what's even more amazing is the reason behind it. The mice lost weight during the periodic fasting. But that wasn't the whole story. Intermittent fasting actually solved the diabetes problem directly at one of its sources, the pancreas. Diabetes is a condition marked by excess blood sugar, i.e., excess blood glucose. It's mainly an insulin issue. Usually, insulin causes cells in the body to absorb glucose from the blood, but diabetes causes glucose to remain in the blood since cells no longer take it in. This is because many cells with diabetes lose their sensitivity to insulin and the pancreas stops making it. Fasting makes the pancreas start producing insulin again by giving the pancreas a timeout that allows it to remove and recycle most of its cells. After fasting and the mice resumed eating, new cells that could produce insulin appeared. The conclusion? The pancreas shrunk during the 4 restricted eating days and regrew during the 7 unrestricted eating days. After several such cycles of shrinking, recycling, and regrowing, the pancreas was almost completely repaired and rejuvenated. Will intermittent fasting have the same effects in humans? The answer is not yet clear, but the initial indications are promising. This is, of course, the critical question. A recent study produced some interesting findings. For the study, 100 participants underwent a series of 30-day cycles of periodic fasting, each with 25 days of normal eating and 5 days of limited eating. After just 3 cycles, those subjects who began the trial with elevated blood sugar experienced substantial improvements without experiencing any harmful effects. The researchers found that participants on the fasting-mimicking diet dropped an average of around 6 pounds. Their waistlines shrank by 1 to 2 inches. Their systolic blood pressure, normal range when the study began, and their diastolic blood pressure both dropped to even healthier levels. Quote, "Our participants retained those effects even when they returned to their normal daily eating habits," end quote, Longo stated. The researchers also noted that participants considered at risk because they had risk factors such as high IGF-1, cholesterol, blood pressure, or blood sugar, made significant progress toward better health. Quote, "Fasting seems to be the most beneficial for patients who have the great risk for disease, such as those who have high blood pressure or prediabetes or who are obese," end quote, Longo said. The researchers had invited volunteers in the study for one last set of tests 3 months later at the end of the study. The research team found that the beneficial effects from weight loss, smaller waistlines, and lower glucose and lower blood pressure were sustained. The next step for researchers is a large FDA Phase 3 clinical trial to test intermittent fasting on patients diagnosed with age-related diseases or at high risk for them. The researchers said that further investigation would determine whether the benefits of the diet can continue for several months. As with many new, exciting medical breakthroughs, the research continues. Quote, "These findings warrant a larger FDA trial on the use of the fasting-mimicking diet to treat human diabetes patients to help them produce normal levels of insulin while improving insulin function," end quote, Longo said. Quote, "Hopefully, people with diabetes could one day be treated with an FDA-approved fasting-mimicking diet for a few days each month and gain control over their insulin production and blood sugar," end quote. Longo added that, quote, "This study provides evidence that people can experience significant health benefits through a periodic fasting-mimicking diet that is designed to act on the aging process. Prior studies have indicated a range of health benefits in mice, but this is the first randomized clinical trial with enough participants to demonstrate that the diet is feasible, effective, and safe for humans. Larger FDA studies are necessary to confirm its effects on disease prevention and treatment," end quote. Is intermittent fasting appropriate for everyone? Maybe, maybe not. IF appears to benefit those who are already overweight and unhealthy. And even though it may produce a few benefits for some lean and healthy lab animals, the jury is still out as to whether it will work for humans. In the meantime, here are a few points to remember if you try intermittent fasting. Both the 16-8 and the 5-2 methods of fasting have been proven to work. Try both or experiment with fasting for a full day and decide what works best for you. There is no need to go to extremes when fasting. Extended fasts may be dangerous and are not needed to obtain benefits. Just because you are following a fasting regime does not mean it is okay to pig out when you are eating. Don't undo the good work you have done. Don't forget to exercise while fasting. While it may seem a bit challenging at first, consider this. Our bodies have had eons to become incredibly adaptable. If glucose is not available for energy due to fasting, our bodies will use our stored fat. In time, our bodies will become efficient at using fat for energy. It's that simple. As always, you must talk to your doctor or another healthcare provider to see if you can safely try intermittent fasting. And that's why you need to call us. Our clinic has over a decade of experience in all methods of hormone replacement, anti-aging, and intermittent fasting. Working together, we will create a program uniquely designed for you. If you found this video informative, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. To learn more about health and wellness regarding hormone replacement therapy or intermittent fasting, please click the link below in the description.